Hello and welcome to the very first, the debut edition, the premiere of Dude's Comics of the Week. I'm Jason and this is my brand new video where I'm going to take my 5 favourite books every week and I'm going to review them in a video that will be 10 minutes or less. And the idea for this came from the fact that the last couple of weeks I've had pretty big hauls and I thought my videos were too long. I like really to keep my video when I did Dude's Comic Book Goodness to about 20 minutes, but it was going way over that. So I thought, well, if I split it up, it gives people the choice of which one they want to watch. So that's this. It's not going to be a countdown video. So if you're thinking, I'm sorry, it's not going to be a countdown video. I'm just going to take my 5 favourite books and I'm going to review them. That's the deal for this one. If you want to see the other books, they will also be reviewed, but they will be in a different video now called Dude's Comic Book Roundup, and that will be the books that didn't make it into my top 5. And it doesn't always mean that those are going to be bad books. Sometimes it's just different shades of awesomeness, and something that just really clicks with you makes it in, and something else that might be just as good might not make it in. So it doesn't necessarily mean because they didn't make Dude's Comic of the Week that they're bad books. This week was, a bit smaller than previous weeks. We've got 10 books this week. That works out as 1 from Image Comics, 1 from Dark Horse Comics, and 3 from Marvel Comics, and 5 from DC Comics. So I know you want to see who made the top 5. Well, without further ado, let's get to those reviews. First book to reviewed here this week on Dude's Comics of the Week is Constantine, issue number 11. This continues the Forever Evil Blight storyline that's been running through all the Dark books recently, and this one was a really good issue. It really starts connecting the Blight storyline up with the main bigger picture of the Forever Evil story, which I really liked. We've had the questions of what are the Crime Syndicate doing with these magic characters and why, and we do get answers to that this issue, so that's very satisfying. I really enjoyed how Ray Fawkes wrote the book and how he wrote the character of John Constantine. I thought that was really good. Interesting to see John will do anything to save Zatanna, and that was really good to see. And it did give me a bit of a feel, like a 10 grand kind of feel, where Joe will do anything to save Laura, which was really quite funny because I know a lot of people have said about 10 grand that it reminds them of a pre-New 52 Hellblazer. So, I do find it quite funny that the book that reminds people of Hellblazer and this book kind of reminded me of that. The art in this book also is really good. I think it really works and suits the book. It's an artist called Aiko who does the art. Not heard of him before, but he does a good job here on the art. The end of the book is just brilliant. It just really had me wanting to see what happens next, because things look really dark and grim for our heroes. And so, where they're going to go with this next, I don't know. Once again, I think the start of the book did a great job of catching you up on what's been happening, and I think that's great that if you don't want to follow all the Blight storyline, that you can just read this book and it will catch you up. So anyone wants to jump in, it's easy to jump in because that first page pretty much explains everything that's happened thus far. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the Blight storyline, and if there are more issues like this from Constantine, it'll definitely make me rethink dropping the book when this story is finished. And I give issue number 11 of Constantine 5 stars. So next up on Dude's Comics of the Week, we have Avengers issue number 26. And this issue was really good. A lot of the questions I had from last month's issue, this issue answers, which does a really good job of bringing the story to make it more understandable. There were a lot of things I didn't quite get from last issue, and this issue really does a great job of explaining that. The artwork I really like from Salvatore La Rocca, but I think even more than that, the colours by Frank Martin are beautiful in this book and does a great job in setting the mood of the book. The end, you get kind of a double cliffhanger, which I really liked at the end, and the more I'm getting of this story, the more I'm enjoying it. We get to see these Avengers from an alternate Earth that are kind of evil. We're also getting to see these Adaptoids as well, and everything, all of it is coming from AIM. The scientists are unleashing a lot of evil on the world. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this story. I found it a lot more accessible than I previously found Hickman's Avengers, and I think that's definitely a good thing, and I give issue number 26 of the Avengers 5 stars. So next on Dude's Comics of the Week, we have from DC Comics, we have Superman Wonder Woman issue number 5, and this was just brilliant, fantastically written, and looks just beautiful. The art here by Tony Daniel is just brilliant. It is just so beautiful, and I could just sit looking at this book. It is a beautiful, beautiful book. But also the writing by Charles Soule. He's a guy who's gone from somebody I'd not heard of, who's now one of my favourite writers. And his work is just, so far, everything I've read of his has been really good. And for the amount of books that he's writing, and for each one to be really strong, just shows you how good this guy is. As for the book itself, I really enjoyed. There's a scene between Batman and Superman that I really enjoyed, talking about the downside of his relationship with Wonder Woman. I loved seeing when Superman goes up against Zod and Fiora, that they kind of talk about that he's not a fighter, that he hasn't been trained to fight, and that they're both military. So I kind of like that wrinkle in the story. Wonder Woman as well, she's having these doubts about the relationship because of how Superman has to be Clark Kent, and she doesn't really understand that. Why would he hide his powers and his gifts? So all in all, yeah, I really enjoyed this issue. Read it really quickly. It was just so good, and I'm just loving this series. And it's gone from one of those series that was kind of questioning what was the point of the series, and now it's just an absolute joy. It's an injection of joy every issue I read, and I give issue number 5 of Superman Wonder Woman 5 stars. So next up, we review here on Dude's Comics of the Week, we have from Image Comics Manifest Destiny issue number 4. And while this issue had less action than previous issues, I still found it to be a very gripping issue. At the beginning, they're kind of like getting ready to face the Buffalo Tour, and they know that not everybody's going to make it out of this alive. So this impending sense of doom, and it's that kind of feel you imagine you'd get if you was in World War One, and it was the night before you were going to go to no man's land. That you'd have that impending sense of doom of, are we going to make it out of this alive? We then, in the middle of the story, have like a nice twist. We introduced 2 new characters, one who seems a complete jackass, and there's an interesting relationship kind of there, so that adds a new wrinkle to the book. And then the end of the book is just a fantastic cliffhanger that just has me waiting with bated breath for next issue. The art remains fantastic in this book, and I really enjoyed looking at it, and I also loved how the book was coloured. All in all, this book is just another book that is an absolute joy, and I give issue number 4 of Manifest Destiny a definite 5 stars. So the final book this week to be reviewed is Superior Spider-Man issue number 27. And this issue kicks off the whole Goblin Nation story, which is going to be the final story for this book. What I really liked about this issue was a lot of the stories we've been seeing building for months, we kind of get to see coming to a finish here. We get to see them hedge toward that final hurdle, and it feels like we're reaching an end, and I like that. There's a great moment between Green Goblin and Spider-Man that I really enjoyed, as these 2 villains kind of try and outdo each other. And the ending is a pretty explosive ending, and definitely has me wanting to see what happens next. I also really enjoyed the art in the book. I thought Giuseppe Camuncoli, hope I pronounced the name right, I thought he did a great job on this book, and I think now that Ryan Stegman doesn't seem to be on the book, I think he's definitely my favourite Spider artist. So yeah, I thought it was a good start to the story. Yeah, I've got a couple of questions because we start 31 days later, kind of we start off. So there's questions about what happened in the 31 days. But I'm confident that Dan Slott at some point is going to illustrate that when it works for the story. But yeah, I enjoyed this, good start, and I give Superior Spider-Man issue number 27 5 stars. So yeah, that's me done for this week with my reviews. That's a wrap, as they say. Thank you very much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please just take the moment to give me the thumbs up. Let me know you've liked what I've done. I will be back at some point over the weekend with Dude's Comic Book Roundup, where I will be reviewing the rest of the books I picked up this week. Please feel free to check that one out. And yeah, that's pretty much me done. So I'm going to say I've been Jason. This has been Dude's Comics of the Week. Bye for now.